They just put it in not even a month ago.
Wow.
And it really stinks. My name is Jack Gates. I've lived here for 4 years, since 2014, and my room number is 216.
Jack Gates is one of scores of people who live at the Regent Hotel in Vancouver's downtown East Side. The hotel is one of several properties owned by the Sahota family.
The Sahotas have taken everything. They're being treated like they're not people. They have no rights here. We have no rights.
The Sahotas are 3 reclusive, elderly siblings who own and operate some of Vancouver's most derelict housing. The Regent is one such property. It's an SRO, or single-room occupancy building, where tenants share communal bathrooms and other facilities.
There's prostitution, there's squatters. If they're not renting it out to the prostitutes for $60 or whatever for a couple hours, they're putting people in the rooms to, or renting it to people that just want to smoke a little bit of drugs and then go home.
For years, the Regent has been the subject of complaints about substandard living conditions. Last December, the city flagged nearly 430 bylaw violations at the building. Such violations are the norm for the Sahotas, who own 5 Vancouver SROs. For decades, the family has tended to ignore violations.
Shouldn't even be in that room if the toilet doesn't work properly or whatever.
Yeah, that's right. You shouldn't be.
It comes down through our ceiling into our bathroom.
We just had this all washed up, and then they tried plastering it to make it look good, but now the stains are all coming back out.
Housing advocates say that owners like the Sahotas get away with providing deplorable living conditions because the city doesn't want to shut them down, forcing people out onto the street. As Vancouver wrestles with a housing affordability crunch, privately owned SROs such as the Regent have become the housing of last resort for some of the most vulnerable people in the province. That includes many who are living with mental illness or substance abuse disorders. The nonprofit Atira Development Society took over management of the Regent in February.
Quite a bit. If you come in here, there's quite a bit of black mold. The ceiling has collapsed.
The Balmoral, another SRO owned by the Sahotas, sits across the road from the Regent. The city forced it to close in June of 2017 over safety concerns. Atira has recommended to the city that the Regent also be closed. They say the building is too far gone, and the repairs needed are too extensive to do while the building is occupied.
I would say there's at least 60%, 70% of rooms in this almost exact or worse shape.
According to property records, the Sahotas acquired the building in 1989 for $1.5 million. Its assessed value in 2018 is $12.2 million. In total, the Sahotas own some 40 pieces of real estate in and around Vancouver, mostly rental buildings, worth an estimated $218 million. Vancouver has wrestled for years with how to force owners to make repairs at such rundown properties. The city has been hesitant to do repairs and then bill the owners, saying the risk of owners never paying was too great. Neither does the city want to take ownership of the properties themselves, inheriting huge repair bills in the process.
There's a noticeable sense of excrement and that sort of thing.
Local contractors like Ben Afoul were approached by the Sahotas to do work on the Balmoral. He quoted them $1.6 million last August to repair the basement, main floor bar, and dozens of rooms at the building, but he never heard back.
For me, I'm thinking, I can leave and go home, but for someone who lives there, that's their every day, and it's amazing that people are able to stay in an environment like that.
There we go.
This is where some lucky former residents of dilapidated SROs end up. Terry McDonald was a resident of the Regent until April. Now, he lives at a renovated SRO that is also managed by Atira.
It feels safe in this one. Like there's not people walking around in the halls and the lobbies and the stairwells and that.
Back at the Regent, Atira is making do with patchwork repairs, while the city decides the fate of the building and its residents.